So, getting to kind of, I suppose, the crux of this, or why we're actually here tonight, and maybe opening the discussion a little bit about how we start making that physical and emotional environment comfortable for girls to be able to talk about periods, us being able to talk to them as coaches, and then being able to come to us. So the big part of this is normalize the conversation, be comfortable on the topic yourself, be comfortable about, if you're asked, some of the I guess the earlier slides, some of that information is very, very important to be able to have, in your box of tools as such when you're talking about it. Use very matter of fact language. Discuss periods as a normal part of an athlete's health. Don't be any different about it to any other physical aspect that you're speaking about. Use direct terms like period or menstruation. You see me using menarche, menses. You don't have to go into that level of detail, but period or whatever. I'll stick to those kind of common direct terms. Mention it regularly. Don't have it as something that you only bring up in private or in emergencies. And we were just saying last night that a great way of starting it is like, if you're finding it kind of difficult to kind of broach the subject, or as I say, you have the giggly gerties, they're laughing and they're giggling or whatever else when you mention it or whatever else, which is kind of common when they're younger, they kind of nudging each other or whatever. But just even saying, look, we have period packs. We'll have that, this is what it looks like. We'll have it at Low, and we'll have it in Tullamore or whatever. We have it here in the club. This is where it's hanging if you need it. And even, send an email to the parents. I know one club was very proactive about that, and they sent out an email to the parents for them to talk to their daughters, letting them know that there was period pack at training, and that they could access and take whatever they want out of it. And that was wonderful, wonderful to see. So faster open communication, and all this anyway, they can come to you about anything, and you don't know what an athlete is going to come and disclose to you at any point in time. So just being open about everything, and that they're comfortable to come to you about anything. Keeping your facial expression neutral. Not a face of horror or going, oh my God, what am I going to do? Or oh God, or a face of panic. Just keeping very kind of neutral expression. This is no different to them telling you about anything. Reassurance that periods are normal and really healthy. So if they got their first period with you, or while you're away somewhere, or there's a training session, just kind of reassure them, oh, that's great, that's very normal, healthy. Be very positive about it. Don't let it be the first period that they get that you're in a panic mode, or you're like, oh my God, or you're going, what am I going to do, or where am I going to get a pad for this child, or whatever. Ensure privacy and discretion. It's important to normalize. It's always very important to normalize the topic, but allow athletes to speak to you in private. Not everybody wants to declare that they're having the period. Not everyone feels comfortable about talking about it. You get athletes that'll be very comfortable about it, but then there'll be some that just don't want to talk about it, and you have to go and respect, that age group. It's kind of very relevant to their state of development as well. Some are ready to talk about it and some just aren't, and that's okay. Offer factual information. It's important where teens get their information from. And I guess that was the reason for the earlier slides as well, is making sure that whatever information these young girls get, that it's proper information. It's not got off the internet. God knows what they'll read there. So it's, getting from you as a responsible athlete, as a coach that they trust, getting that proper information is very, very important. And letting them know that, periods can impact their energy and their hydration when they're in recovery mode after a training session. And it can affect the performance for some, and whether that's perceived or objective. Share personal stories. We're very good, because a lot of us are females here, so it's not all, it's not that you go launching into your own period or your own period stories or whatever else. But sometimes when I sometimes open a conversation by going, when I was whatever age and I got my period, I might introduce something like that. Sharing personal stories or experience, a good way to start the conversation on periods. Acknowledge period related symptoms. Understand that symptoms like cramps and fatigue, heavy periods, bloating can affect their perceived or their objective performance. And even though you might be saying it's not affecting you at all, you're running great, you did brilliantly, it doesn't matter. If your athlete is perceiving that it's having an impact on them, that's what really matters there. And we never downplay it or ignore an athlete's complaints and say, geez, you'll be grand, go on and do your session, you'll be fine. Modify the athlete's session if needed, like reducing the intensity. And we know this, like we change plans all the time. Don't be a slave to the plan. And sometimes it's just easier to talk to a female coach, and that's easier. And that was for the men last night. Like sometimes girls will just feel more comfortable talking to their female coach about it, and that's absolutely fine. So the practical support. So how do we make that physical environment, as we were talking about earlier? So having menstrual packs or period packs that are inclusive of everyone, and that shows that you are prepared and you're supportive. If you have your period pack at training and you have your period pack up at the competitions, those girls have trust and belief and comfort knowing that no matter what happens, no matter even if like even having the packs there for a female coach that might get caught out without a period pad, it's, I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but it's an awful feeling to be away somewhere and you're going into a bathroom trying to roll all the tissue together or whatever else to try and deal with the period. Like there's no dignity in that, so it's all about being prepared. Discuss hydration, nutrition, and recovery within the context of periods. Great way to normalize periods. Just make it like everything else. Dim to dim to dim. It's just like everything else. Recognize different experiences. Park the research. There's nothing better than that athlete that's in front of you. So avoid making general assumptions. Some girls will be very impacted by their period, as we're talking about period pain and heavy periods. They'll be very impacted. Some won't. Some will some months and some and not others. So see the whole athlete. Involve the parents if the athlete's okay with that. And of